First part of the procedure will be to strip the rifle down, which means taking the scape off, taking the stock off. The stock, the only thing that holds it to the actual mechanism and the cylinder is the Allen screw, which is underneath. We'll start by taking the scape off, and just before we start on the actual gun itself, I have dry fired the rifle until all the air is out of the cylinder, so there's no chance of a massive air escape if I don't try and do the wrong nut. So just remove the Allen nut. Just thought, on the back side of this you've got the safety catch. We unscrew the end off of that. That allows you to slide the mechanism out of the rifle stock. Turning it around. Now that is the part I've got to get off. It looks very similar to the ones on the BSA rifles. This is safety catch. I'll have to get rid of that screw there, and what I intend to do is drill it and get it out of that way. But there's an Allen look similar to that on the other side, plus one inside that, so I've got to be careful how I do this. But that's the part that I've got to get off, so we can get to the back cap and get to the hammer spring tensioner there. So that'll be the next part of the job. So that's the cap that I've got to drill through. Okay, we've got the rifle set up in a vise, and we've got a pillar drill, and we're going to start. There we go. We've got it started. Okay, I've changed it for a bigger bit now, so well, I've gone back to the small drill piece. We'll not be far off getting through it now. Get them out this way first. I think I can just see an hole there now. See a hole. So I'd say the cap's probably about 3mm thick. Not sure if you can see this or not, but if you look down where I've been drilling, there's a little hole appearing at the bottom. I'm trying to get this in focus, but I'll carry on drilling. Got to be dead careful now. Okay, I'll put a bit of light on it now. You can see, hopefully you can see the hole appearing the bottom of the cap. But to get that opened out now, if I can get to the Allen key, I have seen these things come off just by undoing the actual Allen nut inside. But I'm going to take it quite carefully. Yeah, it's coming out, I think. There we go. Got it off. Just focus that a bit better if I can. So now you can see the inner and the outer Allen key nut. So that's what I need to get out now. Okay, this is the anti-tamper cap. See the little hole drilled through it. By the time I got to the end of it, basically shook itself out. And that's what they put in the end to stop you taking the trigger block off the rifle and get into the hammer tensioner screw to do this spring up. Right, the actual cap has now been removed. That's the anti-tamper cap. So that lets us get to the Allen nuts. And there's two in the back. There's one in the middle. Not sure why that's in there, but we'll find out. That's quite long. That's still, that could be the thing that's holding the hammer spring cap in. I think that's loose now. Yeah, it's probably around a 2mm Allen nut, and I think that one looks like a 4, a big one, a bit bigger than that. Yeah, sorry about that, it's a bit tight. Let's cracked it. I'll keep my finger on the end of that because I'm not sure if this cap pulls out or unscrews, but that will be under tension with the hammer spring. Bit more. Now what you have to watch with a lot of these, some have got springs underneath, some have got ball bearings, so you have to be careful not to lose them. That's still not quite right. Yeah. So that's the main culprit on these for the anti-tamper. And forward of that, just in front of the spring trigger, there's another Allen nut that needs coming out. so that's loose. Pan back a bit. Okay, there's a spring just there because we don't want to lose that, and there's a ball bearing just there. And now the cap just comes off. And that screw thing there, that's what tightens the actual hammer spring up. So clockwise will put tension on it, on the spring, make it hit the hammer harder, which will increase the power. So I will have to basically test it, just move it a bit and then chronograph it, and based on the chronograph. But at the moment the best pellets through it are only producing about 10.4 foot-pounds, so ideally I want to get another foot-pound out of it, and I should be able to do that just by tightening that up. There's a ball bearing. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how far this has got to go in to make a difference, but as I say, just going round. I would imagine one turn will be enough. So I'll leave it at that. I'll put it back together and then chronograph it. It's the owner's responsibility to make sure that it falls below the 12 foot-pounds, because certain pellets will send it right over. So ideally, if you aim for 11, we should be okay. Okay, I'm going to put the rifle back together now. So the ball bearing goes on there. There's a spring we don't want to lose. Don't want it to go all the way in yet. Got to put the cap back on. You can see that's the part that locks it in. Then we've got the long, thin, I think it's a 2mm Allen nut that goes through that. It's quite long. I'll get a longer key. Yeah, just a bit easier to handle. So that's that tightened up. Now I've got the one that goes just in front. That's the rear two screws in, back in. That screw back in. What I need to do now is put that back on there. Oh no, it's at the top. Sorry about that. So that's that. just needs to go back into the rifle stock now. Just got to remember to take that off so it fits through the stock. So that's the final job now. Okay, so I've got the stock, and if you look, this is the reason why I take the cap off of the safety mechanism, is it has to fit back through the wooden stock. So finally, that, screw in the safety catch. The safety catches on these only work when you cut the rifle for some reason. So the rifle's back together now, and that's the Falcon Prairie B Lighthunter. How to adjust the power and remove the anti-tamper.
We about to turn it on. Turn it on.